Verdant with their first victory of the split. They got it down. Blue-White still searching for that one. I would like to talk about this game because we were talking in the green room, the idea that as soon as Blue-Whites stay behind, it seems like there's no plan to come back from that situation.
Yeah.
It did feel Tark, if you want.
No, it's fine. I was just so enthusiastic to talk about Blue-White. I just no, it
was. So it was an unfortunate game, I think, for Blue-Whites. Sort of like you're alluding to with the question. Once they fell behind, it did feel like a lot of the communication, a lot of the coordination on the plays that they were going for, sort of just fell to pieces. Multiple instances where we've got a couple of players engaging on one side of the fight, someone's fighting on another, and those didn't end up favouring them in the end. Honestly, it's been very, very rough for Blue-Whites at the start of this split. I think a lot of people were looking at this as a game where they could potentially start their season finally against another team that has had their struggles. This emphatically wasn't that. So I think for Blue-Whites, it's got to be a lot of back to the drawing boards. We saw a creative composition from them, and it didn't work out.
I think that's the main
I'm really
idea.
glad I'm not their coach because I wouldn't know what to do in this situation.
Go back to the drawing board and understand what is happening. So let's talk with Blue-Whites themselves. It's Eggets on the interview with us today. Let's have a chat. Welcome back to the show. Obviously,
Hello.
This is not what he wanted. I know, but I want to talk about the situation right now because we were debating on the desk. It seems like as soon as the team falls back a little bit, there's no backup plan, or it's almost like communication fumbles a little bit. Can you talk to me about it? How are you feeling? What is happening?
Not feeling very great. I'll be honest. The loss sucks, obviously, but I think we are improving at least, like in some aspects of the game. So we are slowly but surely getting there. And today we had our coach playing in the mid lane, filling for us. So he's basically a Zen 1 trick. So we kind of just did a creative draft around that. So we have him on comfort champion and have a chance at winning. And I think we did a lot of good plays in the early game. But then a couple of mistakes happened that were like quite crucial, so we couldn't come back after that. We didn't really get any towers, so we were just behind in gold, and the fights, well, they went pretty badly.
And it seems like the team itself wants to restructure on some parts of the team, right? So that's why you're playing with the coach in the mid lane.
Yes.
There's some struggle in the meanwhile, so not the best start, but I like the idea that you're bringing, hey, we're trying to play our own style. You brought in the Jax yesterday. Something happened. I want to know the tech behind it, because as soon as I saw the Jax, I was like, oh, he's going to max Counter-Strike, probably go after Shock, be a little bit more tanky. You were going for the W. You were going for the punishment. Tell me about the tech.
Alright, so originally I cooked it for Camille support back when she was like seeing a lot of play, but then after playing it into other champions, it felt like actually really good, and I have like other people who are playing it as well a little bit, so I have like a lot of info about it. I have a lot of data, and I think it is actually good, and I will pick it again at some point, I'm sure. I think it's actually really good.
It just didn't work out
I assure you,
yesterday,
I was
so-
not trolling.
No, I'm not saying you were. I was just trying to understand the tech. I like these spicy picks, so I like it. You should look into Pantheon, I'm just saying, because he got buffed recently. I don't know if you heard about it.
Oh hell yeah! I'm really I play a lot of Pantheon in solo queue, like whenever I have to play an AD champion. So my bad, sorry.
Now we're talking. Okay.
Sorry.
We're talking.
So yeah, it's I like a lot of the aggressive champions, and with Hail of Blades, the Jax is also like very aggressive. Can just jump on the enemy and do some damage.
Okay. Let's see if the cooking will bring up something good for Blue-Whites.
Surely, surely later on.
Hopeful for the fix in the roster itself. Have a good one. Thank you so much for the interview. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. See ya.
So it's. Are you okay, Middlecott? You were. Your eyes.
No, man. I love how positive he can still be in this situation. I think that's
You
just
gotta
like what
be.
you need. It's just what you need to
Yeah.
recover from this.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just a loss. Calm down. It's like recover
Yeah,
from
exactly.
this.
It's just the right type of mindset you gotta have, right? Like,
Yeah.
one, this is a team that came up last second from Division 2. They're a team that understand how to win together at the end of the day because they did very well in Division 2, and right now they're still looking for that sort of they're just looking for the right formula themselves. Even though things are naturally, we can see, are falling apart very quickly when they get into a losing position. You said it. You heard it there from the man himself. He likes to play aggressive. He likes to get in there, right? Proper League of Legends. So if he falls behind, sure, it's gonna go quick. But on the flip side, we just need to wait for when blue whites are ahead, because EGETS will take them to town, and that's what we're looking for.
Knows on the other side, natives though are capable of getting the first victory, so that's why we're going to take a conversation with them, the coach from natives. Welcome. I see a smile. I see sun in Denmark. We don't get to see that on Duckling's webcam. I don't know why. I think he's on the basement. But hey, congratulations, them. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling better, right? Obviously, we haven't had the start that we wanted to, which I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that losing doesn't really feel great, right? Especially when especially our first game against Nord was super close, and then both in game 2 and game 3, I think we were showing good signs, and then we make like 1 or 2 mistakes, and the game just falls apart. And I feel like that's just pretty respective, or not respective, but it's kind of a parallel to just how we're feeling at the moment, right? I think even in this win, obviously still not completely happy about how we played out every situation, considering I don't think they ever really should have gotten any opportunities, honestly, with their draft. And yet we're like playing into some timers that we just don't have to.
I have a question. Does it change anything? Because obviously you're really happy with the first victory, and ambience was a little bit down as Spice was talking with us. But does it change anything? Because at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we got our first victory. But then you think, hey, it's versus Blue Whites, and they actually put up a fight. There was a point in the game where we're like, this is not as one-sided as they thought they would be. So does it change anything towards the mindset of the team?
I mean, for me, not, right? At least the mindset I'm trying to instill in the players as well is that it doesn't really make sense to look too much into who we're necessarily playing against, right? Because at the end of the day, the classic, a win is a win. But again, right, also, I guess commiserations to Blue Whites. They're right now in a really tough position as well, coming straight out of Div 2, right? This game, they had to play with their coach in mid lane as well, and obviously these guys, they know how to play together. They've done so for a long time, but it's just like when you start on a low and you kind of have to start finding solutions, whether that's in creativity, in communications, in how you approach the draft, how you just go over practice, right? And it feels like nothing is really clicking to get those wins over on the board. It just becomes, it becomes weird, right? Because at some point you're like, okay, well, how do we approach this now?
Okay, so for you, congratulations. Let's see what happens next as we move forward, and best of luck then.
Thank you, man.
See. And the MVP of the game is going for Ball. It's really interesting to see a support getting the MVP from time to time. It was everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, and he sort of had this dominating effect wherever he was. There were multiple times where he'd get some great tidal waves and army ults down in bot lane, aggressive stuff, which really disrupted what MKR and EGETS wanted to do. And the fact that it wasn't just a laning phase pick for him, the fact that he was being able to be effective in team fights as well, I think is what really made him shine and stand out. I think a lot of praise needs to go for Painful as well. Like the laning phase, probably a bit easier than a few of the laning phases that he's had this split, but he really made a high impact in a lot of those team fights. Multi-man Azir ultimates too from him.
Now the match is on to England. It's towards RUD versus Verdant. This is a good one, not only because the story it brings, but we have some matchups we need to highlight. I would like to get from your point of view, what are the lanes we should be looking for the most?
Well, we already saw that the junglers from both teams have been really, really impactful, right? I mean, from both sides, Kitarukan has been set up for success by his team. He's been allowed to play stuff like the Karthus, which is a jungler's dream in some respects, because you're actually able to have a lot of agency in your own hands, and I think it's really great to see the RUD team making that possible. On the flip side, Dopamine, he's been the early game playmaker. He's been someone who's ready to rumble as soon as he gets onto the Rift. And what we're seeing, time and time again from this guy, whether it's on Ivern, where everyone's always creatively ganking, but even on Kindred, he's looking for as many different angles as possible. And I think he's really key to this Verdant team getting ahead. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see probably 2 very different jungle styles, and it's going to be a question on the side of Ruddy: are they going to be able to control Dopamine, make sure they don't end up falling to one of his early ganks? And if they do, well, then I think Kitarukan will probably get another game where he can go very, very aggressively into that farming, into the damage, into the carry potential that we've seen from him already.
Both times we got to see Ruddy win, they were absolute victories. They got ahead from the beginning of the game. They never dropped the ball, like a few times, but they still kept control of the game. And the only time we saw them lose, it was heavy on the loss. They never got a hold of the game. Is this a signal towards this team like Verdant? Because Verdant is aware they have a lot of experience playing those sort of games. So if Ruddy loses the early game, should we be concerned for them? How do you think it's going to play out?
I think not. I think not so much. I think one of the things that Ruddy has always shown is a certain level of tenacity. In that game versus Lightside, they were able to extend it out despite being at a fairly significant map advantage for the whole time. But the issue with going up against a team like Verdant is I think that you are going to be going up against a team that is very well practiced and understands how to push advantages, and are also able to throw a few curveballs into the mix. So while I've predicted that Ruddy are going to be getting the victory today, I will just say that I'm not completely surprised if Verdant, my boys here, are able to pull out something a little bit spicy in the draft, which can throw a bit of a wrench in the plans that Ruddy have laid down.
Where are these jerseys coming from? Why is every single caster on desk being bribed? I don't understand why I don't have any of those jerseys. I live in Portugal, by the way, if you want to say it to anyone. Ruddy versus Verdant. Okay, the Zac is out. Kindred with Dopamine was able to shine yesterday, and Zed the same for Alex. So far, we're getting those target bans, which means one of those really powerful will go through. Will Corky be one of those? Because he's still available.
I doubt it. I do doubt it. I mean, I think Corky should...
Out.
Oh, well, he has made it through. They decided to ban Kitarukan's Karthus has been very effective for Ruddy as well. But what I really like to see is a Corky, a Skarner. Yeah, I mean, all of the power is open. They're trading 1-for-1. And I think most interestingly now, the question is, well, one, do Verdant grab Corky? I'd assume they would.
100%.
But at the same time, I mean, this draft is spiraling off in loads of different directions right now. It might be the case that Verdant are very willing to even give, Corky, give Skarner, because they've got stuff in mind that they think is more important. I think they've gone for 3 big target bans with Zac, Zed, and Karthus off the table. I think the Zac ban especially is a really, really good one. And yeah, I mean, it's clear, Verdant, they're happy to give the Corky if Ruddy chooses to pick it up. They've got a strategy in mind for this game.
I think one of the big potential issues here for Ruddy is they have drafted pre-rework Skarner there instead of post-rework, so a little bit less disgusting. But also Verdant have taken away this Talia, right? And so they've denied the 2 champions that Kit Rukin has already played this split. That was the Karthus and that was the Talia. Corky pickup, not too unexpected, likely going towards Natu. I think quietly has been having a very good split for himself. But I'm really interested to see how Ruddy enable their jungler, because I think this is a roster that thrives when Kit Rukin can get stuff done on a lot of these high damage mage picks. Maybe we see some adaptation, brings out something a bit different, or we try and find a third mage to unlock. Maybe something like a Zyra, I don't know.
Don't do it.
Oh, they did it. This is spicy. This is dangerous as well, Torok. I know why, but I want to get your insights. I'm thinking about the same probably.
I mean, it's okay in the sense of, I mean, LeBlanc's a pickable champion in League of Legends, but aside from that very thin silver lining, I don't understand. I really don't. I'm not sure where they're going with this. From Verdant's perspective, I was thinking, okay, you've got the Nautilus, you've got the Talia, you're clearly going for something where there might be, a little bit of playmaking involved. I think Talia is quite a potent flex, for example, as well. The fact they've just locked LeBlanc like this, it breaks their flex very early in draft, and I don't think we're actually seeing LeBlanc's matchup right now. I mean, Corky could very easily not go mid, and even if it does go mid, as far as I understand, it used to be a good matchup for Corki. So I don't really understand why this LeBlanc's come in. And on top of that, and not that it needs saying for most people who are watching the stream, but I mean, LeBlanc Talia not the most effective mid 2v2. So it's a very interesting choice for the side of Verdant to lock this in so early. I'd have liked to see them go in a different direction on Red 3.
They are really targeting Alex champion pool, but we still don't know if this Corki will be played by Nata or Alex himself. He favors those ADs, so maybe that's another thing to take in mind, especially on NLC when we see a lot of AD carries playing the AP route. So the last one for Ruddy will be the Renekton, targeting the top lane. So far, I'm looking at Ruddy, and yet again, like yesterday, I'm saying they have a really good champion select so far.
Yeah, I'm expecting a curveball to come through from Verdant in one of these final 2 picks, because the way they've set themselves up isn't particularly inspiring as it stands right now. Ashe here, it would offer a little bit of engage to you. I think this is one of the champions that Drop is sort of quite well practiced on, so I guess there. But now you're leaving that last pick towards Shihan in the top lane, and I think something that Built has done very, very well, more this split, I think, than last split, is just be able to exist in these lanes. I think he's had very strong performance, and the Skarner pick in itself is very good as that as well. It can just kind of ignore a lot of these laning phases because the champion is so busted.
There's the AP we were looking for ready, and now to finish it up. Now we'll finally get the last piece of the puzzle. Will it be Corki in the mid, or will it be played by Nata? We know Nata for a long time. It's another one of those matchups that I was waiting to see, Nata versus X Drop. And there you go, Jin. So there's a lot of range. I really like this composition so far from Ruddy.
Yeah, I think this is a really strong draft coming out from Ruddy. They have a lot of tools, a lot of ways to play, as you said, with range between Jin and Corki, I guess Rumble as well, but also the fact there's a lot of non-committal engage as well, so ways to start fights. They also have a lot of hard CC mixed in. It's just a good overall comp. There's very little you can look at on the Ruddy side, and we know Skarner and Corki are some of the most OP champs on the patch at the moment, and the fact they managed to get both of them and put a nice composition around it, you've got to be sweating a little bit. And I think from the side of Verdant, they are going to be sweating because for them, there's not too much they have that looks like a direct advantage. Perhaps we can look towards Shihan on the Aatrox. He's clearly picked that into the Rumble. They saved his counter pick to R5. I think that is a good matchup. So, you've got to hope that could be a nice outlet for them. But ultimately, it's going to come down to, I think, Harbo really proving that the LeBlanc pick that he clearly valued in this draft is worth it. Right? I mean, it's something that maybe he knows something more than we do about how he wants to manipulate the matchup. And for us, it's to sit here and now let that unfold. So very, very exciting.
Yeah, the book is written now. We need to see the end of it. One of these teams will be able to get the third victory, while the other one will stay at 2-2. So toss into the other two that are waiting to cast some of the Swift. It's going to be Mr. Fox and Duckling.
Why do I not get a Mr. in front of me? Regardless, though, Foxdrop. Take it.
Sorry, that phrasing was something, Duckling.
Yeah, I do realize that English sometimes is my first language, but I hope you would just ignore it and just keep moving instead of highlighting.
No, that's fine. It never happened.
Apparently,
League of
I
Legends,
do realize
Duckling.
horrible phrasing. Yeah, Corgi's locked in. I'm excited
We
for
got
that.
Corgi.
I'm
We
a
like
big Corgi. Yeah, I like Corgi. Yeah, he's a very fun shape to watch. Very excited to see I kind of want to say the revert of what he was before. Obviously, he was, for many, many years, has now been the mage, rocket shooting, the big package playing champion. 5-6 years ago, he was a Trinity Force crit mid laner who scaled very well, that 3-item power spike, massive, and he's been reverted way more towards it now. We have seen some different variations. We've seen him even a couple times in the AD carry position. This time it will be in the mid lane for Alex, but I'm just over the moon that we finally get to see it. 5 games I was here last week, banned in every game, and today we started off 4 games last week, and now this was the 5th game today. 6th time was the charm. I finally get to see some cold action.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's good fun. Actually, I agree with Torok as well on the death side. I feel like it's a pretty good matchup into someone like LeBlanc, right? Because you just have endless auto attacks to win trades out. I think as the game goes on, potentially LeBlanc can do a real mischief to Corki and maybe even like one combo him, but that doesn't happen until you've got like 2 items or so if you're LeBlanc, and obviously that doesn't happen early on in the lane phase. So I expect a lot of priority coming through from that mid there as well. I really do like Ruddy's draft, and I'm not a huge fan, honestly, of what Verdant kind of put together in the end. But I just agree with you. I think it's just fun to see a champion like Corki actually finally get through. And let's not forget Alex, the type of player he is. You know, he is the kind of Yasuo, the Yone type player as well. So if you thought Corki was a snoozer champion, which I don't think he is anymore now that he's an AD lethality champ, right? He actually has to right-click people now, not just, you know, throw out his rockets from a million miles away. Yeah, even if he was a snoozer champion, Alex would find a way to not make him snooze. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun regardless.
Yeah, we'll certainly cook it up in one way or the other, though. And I do agree, you brought up the LeBlanc, and obviously when Harbour gets a couple items, it could be hard to deal with. But I think likely what I expect to see is Alex just going towards the Hexdrinker pretty early on in his build path to avoid that. And that will obviously delay the power spike that the Corki will have. But in the end, he should be fine. Moving the conversation on the top side from Ruddy here, very, very interesting. A Skarner and a Rumble locked in for Kiturikan and build. So certainly some champions that have seen a lot of priority in the meta recently. I think a lot of damage. I think Skarner very underrated in terms of the damage he brings. Very high base damage. So I expect some chaos or some fights up along this top side, hopefully.
Absolutely. And it was the last pick for Ruddy, right? With they went for that Aatrox, so we'll have to see how that matchup goes out.
Yeah, Shihan, the going up against his former organization, Ruddy, that he played on just 1 year ago. How will that pan out? A question to be answered later on as we're about to head into the Rift. And there we go into the Rift. It is Kiturikan playing that Rumble in the jungle. Like we saw, I think, MSI a couple of years ago now. Very high priority in the meta. Then Alex playing the Corki with the Hail of Blades. Verdant cooking a level 1 up here. Komski does not quite connect on the Dredge line. That means Kiturikan will just have a nice little walk away to safety. Shihan, as you said, last pick Aatrox here, getting the counter pick, playing against his former organization, got them or helped them get into playoffs, 4th place finish for Ruddy when he was there. Spent a year or a split away from the NLC, now back on a Verdant roster that has performed pretty well so far, going 2-1.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, and this is it for both these teams here to see if they can pull away from the rest of the pack. This is their quest now. Obviously, all the teams are sitting. 2-1 is good enough for 1st place, but it's also good enough for 6th place right now. There are 6 teams genuinely with their scoreline. So this will be our first opportunity for one of these teams to pull away from the rest. Ruddy and Verdant obviously looking to get that one on the board. As you mentioned, some good starts here. And something I just want to point out as well, which I'm seeing a little bit more of here for junglers, especially AP junglers. Skipping that potion on your first purchase. That's 50 gold saved in the bank, which means you can get to your Fated Ashes a little bit quicker, which is really, really nice because Fated Ashes is like a cheat code for clearing the jungle. It's absolutely disgusting. It's really, really good. So yeah, if you can, you know, being able to get that on your first back is mega important, and not having that potion, I think junglers are starting to kind of clock on that actually, you know, we can skip out this potion. We don't need it. Instead, we'll just get that Fated Ashes straight away.
Yeah, that is interesting, you know, that getting the Fated Ashes means so much. You're willing to sacrifice your early potion just to get 50 gold closer to that. Tells a bit about how high priority that item is. So, the laning phases have now started to settle in, and we are going to keep our eyes on the jungle early on because they are pathing on opposite routes. So, Dopamine towards the bot side and Kiturikan towards the top side.
Yeah, so they should just be doing full clears plus that crab. And that'll be enough for them to reset here. Not too much happening otherwise here. We can see Kalmski might be looking for a bit of a roam. It is being pinged out from Ruddy though, so they kind of sniff it out a tad. They don't have vision, but they have an idea that this might be happening. It's most likely not going to turn into anything. Should be able to Valkyrie away from this one here. Or just walk away as well. But that's a bad wave spot right now for Alex. So he is missing out a little bit here. But I mean, I'm absolutely lying because it's just pushing straight back into him. So yeah, not too much happening here for Karmsky.
I did miss a few minions. In the end, though, should just be fine. The Corgi obviously a fan of getting time to scale up, and that's when the real strength of the champion starts to show. Battle of the UK, 2 UK organizations. The desk touched on this as well, but I do want to give a shout out here to Dan Holt for some statistics on Twitter between these two teams. They have played 9 series, Verden coming out on top 5 times out of 9, so very close between them. But in terms of game wins though, like the game scorelines, right? How many games out of, they've played 14 games against each other, fucked up. How many games do you think Verden have won?
Wait, but they're 4 and 5 in
series. So
but
in terms of series they've
14
played,
games.
Yeah, I mean series that also counts as best of 3, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. They must be quite close. 14, you said, right? Let's go like 8 and 6, 9 and 5. One of those.
Yeah, you'd think that, right? But it's actually 10 and 4. Game wins 10 to Verden, 4 to Ruddy, according to the lovely Dan Holt on Twitter. I won't still call it that. I know it has a different name now, but yeah, so some nice statistics there. I think we should get a better name though for this rivalry. Battle of the UK sounds kind of bland, you know. In football, there's Battle of the Bridge between Tottenham and Chelsea. Like Tottenham Hotspur, you know, the team that the good old Christian Eriksen used to play for us built, is about to get solo boloed by Sheehan. He has the rivalry with this organization, but Bill has a way to escape running through the wall. But yeah, back to the point here. Like, this is what really matters. We need to find a good rivalry name between these two teams.
We do. I'll leave that to the desk, I think, because we've got some creative guys there.
Yeah,
might be able to make it happen. But no, so far for what we've got here is pretty equal, honestly. Good stuff though for Sheehan. Topside getting a flash blown early on. To be honest, this is probably one of the only times that you can actually bully out a Skarner. Because he always itemizes for that tier early on, and tier doesn't give you any combat stats really. It gives you a bit of mana. It's really nothing special. So it's about the only time in the game where he's actually squishy enough for you to pressure him. So getting that flash early is nice. Sheehan getting a little bit of a dominant play topside as Verdant now looking for this dragon. It is quite low, should be free.
Yeah,
Ruddy are in the area.
Can't make it in time. Might want to contest though. The shove denies any action from happening as Katurikan spotted on vision moving into opponent's territory. Should just be able to get this grump, but will not prioritize it. You're waiting on a ward, guys, so they're completely spotted here. I think Domin is able to respond then if the play comes through. In the end, though, it seems to not happen as Katurikan still fishing for the opportunity here. Guys, will you go for it or not? This is Ruddy. Surely you go for it, right? Any Ruddy game is a complete chaos and a bloodbath, but in the end, 6 minutes in, no kills. The tension here, will you go or not? Katurikan on the grump.
I just don't know why. What's the point?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Just the thing is, like, if you're Ruddy here, surely you just like, you know that Taliyah is hard locked into the bot side right now. Just bomb it up to the grubs, mate. Just take the grubs. I think that's what he's doing now, Kickerin, but he's a little bit behind the tempo here, to be honest. As it should still be relatively. No, he's going for the invade instead. Wow, I'm quite surprised, to be honest. Like, Bill at this point, Bill is under his tower, not in a good spot for the grubs, not in a great spot at least. But there was a long time where Bill was actually pushed into Sheehan there, so it was certainly an opportunity, but not going to go for it, and instead looking for some counter jungling here. As both junglers are level 5, but this might just be the level 6 camp actually for. No, it's not. Never mind. He's just hit level 5, so that's not happening. As Dopamine shows, gets the smite. He's level 6 now.
Oh, this could be bad. Yeah, Katurikan in a lot of trouble. Does have the flash, but could potentially just go into the waiting hands of Sheehan. Realizes that the top lane is missing. Tries to find some escape here. I think he might be able to make it out until I see Karmsky there. Dredgeline does not connect. Tries to execute underneath the turret. Will he make it in time? The ignite! First blood secured from Dopamine. The Q, the rock connected. First blood secured.
That's a shame there as well. Hikaru-kun used a lot, actually, to try and execute there. He got his flash. Tried to use his flash to get out, but Yeah, that is unfortunate for him. Not going to work out. And I'm still just very a bit confused why they really didn't want to go for those grubs. I don't think Shihan... Yeah, I think it was free. I don't think Shihan would have stopped them, to be honest. But hey, it is what it is at this point. It's going to be these grubs instead going over to Verdant, who have not only taken these grubs, but also taken the first dragon of the game. So that's always a nice position to be in. You kind of consider these two objectives a little bit of a handshake situation. You know, one team gets dragon, the other goes for the grubs.
Oh, Habo.
Not this time around, though.
Was kind of low. Something happened there in the mid lane. In the end, though, no one dies. I do want to mention Alex's build path so far, making it very clear that he will not be one-shot by Harpo for at the very least 20 more minutes in this game, prioritizing the Magnus heavily here early on, able to get a few plays as well. The only lane where they have a lead at the moment ready is in that mid lane, but a surprisingly quiet game so far, only one kill. Now, this is my first day on cast of this NLC split, but, you know, from being on desk and watching the NLC on my off days, Ruddy's games have always been chaotic. I was preparing my voice to be talking constantly about how more and more kills came through, and now it might finally be happening as the shockback comes through. It's Alaric going down to Dopamine. As Build solo kills Shihan. Now the action is starting to unfold.
I'm not sure what happened on top side there, but it was an overextension, definitely, for Ruddy. They really want that bot Gromp, don't they? They really wanted that Gromp. They tried so hard for it before, and now they've tried for it again. I think they got it this time around, so that's cool. But I don't think it's worth giving over a kill, to be honest. For just that Grom. But yes, you're totally right. I think of Ruddy as a bit of a chaotic team as well, an aggressive team, or a team that's not afraid to really pull the trigger and take their chances. So yeah, it is a bit surprising to see a little bit of a more quiet game here. To be fair, they have been invading a little bit like lunatics on the bot side, but it hasn't really amounted to anything just yet. And I do also just want to, this is completely off topic, but I'm sliding the conversation back to the mid sides here again. And it's something that Torek mentioned in the draft, which I also kind of raised my eyebrows about, and I wasn't a huge fan of, was picking LeBlanc on the third pick when you had Talia locked in as well. Okay, it kills your flex in the draft, which, you know, is always a bit of a shame in my opinion. I think you should hold on to flex as long as you can. But more importantly, like, you've now got Talia LeBlanc as your 1-2 in mid jungle. What's that about? Like, look at Alex's build, bro. Like, he literally just rushed his Hexdringer into Merc Treads. And what are you gonna do now? How do you attack this Corki? It's like pretty much impossible. And if you can't attack a Squishy, what's the point of playing LeBlanc? So she's gonna have to roam around to other parts of the map to try and make that happen. But yeah, just a bit of a peculiar choice here. And as far as it goes right now, it's not punishing Verdant too much, but imagine as the game goes on, like, it'd be a bit of a pain point.
Coming through the Drake being contested. Hurricane laying down the red carpet. Low is Dopamine. The full-on engage comes through as well. Surely Red will find some kills here. Might lose a few in the process though, as one already goes down. But they've found two. Alex, good measure way as Bill joins in the battle as well. It is Shihan who's locked up, taken down. The third target of the fight from Ruddy as they claim 3 kills in a Drake.
There it is. Ruddy have popped off here. Not a single member of the team falls. That's probably a lie, I think.
Yeah,
I think
Alaric died.
There. Yeah, but still, respawn so quickly that we'll just pretend like she'd never died in the first place. Most importantly, though, they get the dragon there as well. So, evening up the dragon score too. Very nicely done. And honestly, it's the power of Rumble. The power of Rumble in these fights, man. Like, the red carpet is so strong. Able to just completely zone out a lot of Verdant's team. All the CC coming through as well, that combo, the Magnet Storm as well. Really hard to deal with, and Verdant unfortunately finding themselves on the wrong end of that one.
Yeah, now Ruddy really seem to have found their groove. They are playing more confidently, they are making more moves, and potentially leading to more here. Still a few minutes with plates. Void Grub spawning within the next minute as well.
This Void Grub should be another fight for Ruddy, or at least a priority for Ruddy here. I do think, you know, one of the great things about having a champion like Rumble is your ability to just control areas, and the river is quite a compact, narrow area. So once you've got that ultimate up, you can see he's just farming instead here. I imagine that's because, to be honest, he wants to have his red carpet available just in case something happens. Or maybe he's just not prioritizing it. I find this a bit surprising though. Like, your bot lane is in top, you've got great priority in mid. Like, it's a great time to actually go for it. opting not to, instead just going to full clear instead. Now coming to the top side. We could just get another big fight here. You know, we've got Magnet Storm, we've got Red Carpet available. We could see some big one-go combo. Here it comes.
Ooh, yeah, good initial engagement with Alaric, but he's able to get out for now. The crash down shield saves him. As now that dishes out some damage as well. Alex claimed the first kill of the fight. Flashes took the fourth as well. Two of them used to get out. Verdant lose only one, but it cost them dearly trying to make a play on that.
I don't really think that was even that great, to be honest, for Ruddy there. The combo didn't go through, which was unfortunate.
Looking for Alex. But Alex,
fine.
though,
He's still got
trading
Hextech
back
up.
nicely. Yeah, he's still got the Hextech, as you say. Kiturikan
Burn.
trying to burn him down.
Fade ashes.
And in the end, gets the kill. Alex, now too far forward. Shoved back into the waiting hands of Dopamine as X-Drop claims the kill. It's a 2-for-2 overall, I guess.
Interesting stuff here, isn't it? This is such a scrappy game. Not really sure what to say about it, to be perfectly honest. Like, so much stuff happening. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm a bit surprised already I wasn't able to come out on top of that one, but really nicely done by Verdant to play that team fight out and to still get something out of it. I have to say, you know, Kalmsky here on the Nautilus has found himself in a bit of a pickle a few times. Oh, hold that thought here. Sheehan's dragged out of the safety of his turret. We'll have to flash back underneath. Yeah, that matchup really swapped around, didn't it, after that?
Yeah.
After that initial bullying from the Aatrox.
Although, just go over to Bert, and they do manage to claim the eye, Kalmsky picking it up, but at the price of his life. So,
Just get
not
mid here, right?
free. Yeah, surely you say, but in the end, ready already. They could add 3 up to more antics. Maybe try and extend it even further than what you would initially expect. In the end, though, Harbo able to stop them from getting anything more in mid lane. Won't be going down for now.
Just chilling out instead right here. I have to say, like, the combo from Ruddy's ultimates is really something. I mean, I've already mentioned the red carpet, which, by the way, I've completely forgotten what Rumble ulti is called. I play him a lot as well. I just say red carpet. Oh, of course, the equalizer. Obviously, everyone knows that. Only idiots don't know that. Yeah, the equalizer plus Magnet Storm. That's pretty sick, right? But bloody hell, like Jin as well, laying down the curtain call. That's pretty cool too, right? He doesn't even have to get involved. He's slowing everyone down. He's doing crazy things. Like, it's actually pretty insane, and something that Verdant will have to keep their eyes on. And the fact that there's a Verdant barrier, very topical here to clear early. It's smart.
Yeah, build is in trouble here, that's for sure. Flash has to be used, and that will lead to an escape. The Warmox build early on, I assume, is just to be able to stay in lane for as long as possible and continue harassing Shihan, making it clear that build isn't leaving this lane anytime soon.
It's actually really efficient as well. I saw some like maths on item efficiency and compared to some other like effective health, that kind of thing. Apparently Warmogs right now, especially the new Warmogs, which has changed. I'm not sure if it was this patch or the previous patch, but recently it was changed.
Yeah, very good.
It's really, yeah, really good.
X-Drop looking for build, very tanky with that Warmox, but will still go down in the end. X-Drop though will taste the exact same fate. 2, 3 into the hands of Alex.
Wow.
He could see the pentacle here. He's found
Penta?
4. The first pentakill potentially on the cards, but will not be served, as the menu instead consists of a Porgo and a Drake already.
4 kills is still pretty good. It might not be a pentakill, but you'll take that, definitely. Plus the dragon too. Very nicely done. Ruddy pretending like they don't know Shihan's there. No, he's on a ward. All very cheeky. But that's it, right? This Corki reaches that Triforce, that power spike, and goodness, it's all over. Easy as you like right there. It's yeah. To be honest, 4 kills on a Corki against the team comp that we're seeing here from Verdant. You have to think that is very bad news if you're Verdant. That is something, you know, this Corki can basically just walk up and right-click people here, right? Considering he's going to have so many people around him as well that can protect. Like the Rumble's going to get involved, the Skarner's going to get involved, the Rel's going to get involved. It's a hard target to just knock down. And I imagine, I'm not sure if he's going for IE or Collector second. But still, he's not slowing down right here. You know, he's just going to keep on going, keep on scaling. Absolute menace in that mid lane.
Yeah, he is an absolute menace. So happy to see the Corki as well finally coming through, and he's certainly performing on it. That is all I can say. I said the rest already continuing to deliver. What we would, I kind of want to say expected from this Rust. I think bringing in Nata was obviously the big statement signing, right? Getting a former NLC winner, but Kuturkan and Alaric have both looked incredible here as well. Alaric, in particular, on the stack, just out of this world. And it is at the point where...
Where's that going?
You might have to say you're sleep banning the stack. Now, though, the rail. Not quite locked up. The hook came through. Now, Build locks up someone else. Pomsky with no way out. And that is just straight up bullying at this point as Nata claims the kill.
That was a big old yoink there, wasn't it? Holy moly, that must have been right at the tip. Max range Skarner ulti. Really pulled Nautilus into his doom there. I think I jinxed Kamsky though, because I did hype him up and say that I think he moves around the map well and being in the right place at the right time. Right now he is just sprinting it. He is just death after death after death. It's thing is, he's not tanky either. He's got like Ninja Tabby and a Kindle Gem. That's about it.
Yeah,
So.
2 shove back on 2. This could be good though. Hopefully for they want to get something back here. They found both the members shove back. The rest of Ruddy get out with their tail between their legs, and Verton though strike back and stop Ray from continuing that push.
Over aggressive there by Ruddy. Just trying to get a little bit too much. Look for too many kills, too much aggression right there, and a great punish from Verdun. And crucially as well, that was a kill going over to X-Drop. So he's now got 2 items. Ashe as well, like with his Kraken Slayer, does tend to spike relatively early. I think Ashe is one of the better early game ADCs in the meta. So she is quite scary here. This is something that Verdun will look to play around. You know, I've hyped up the strength of Alex and just how strong Ruddy's team comp can be. Haven't talked too much about what Verdun can do, but a lot of it is now going to be in the pocket of Ashe, right? And we do want to try and get these picks coming through as well, right? We don't necessarily want the full-blown 5v5. We want to find someone with an Ashe arrow, followed up by Nautilus, you know, the Dredge Line, these kind of things, and the LeBlanc. Just haven't quite been able to find them so far.
Yeah, it just hasn't quite come through, as you say. Extra though, still pretty relevant in the game. 2.5 items. Harbo, I think, just struggled a lot as well. And you talked about this earlier, discussed it a bit, where it's, yeah, when Alex buys the Spices match just early on, Harbo doesn't have much to do, and he's been unable to find other squishy targets across the map to try and first down instead. Now I see his arm guard on Kuturkan means that he could be safe at the very least once if he was about to be called out, and it's only really Nata you could then look at to try and burst, but he's been positioned so safely. Died 0 tanks this game. Baron about to die for the first time though, already 20 minutes in. Harpo knows now that it's happening, so does the rest of Verdun. The TPs are coming through. They need to stop Doberman from getting into the pit. He has the flash available. He can go for the 50-50. He finds the steal. Bill taken down. Alex the next target. Ruddy are evaporating, and Verdun have found the window and have taken 3 alongside the steal.
Yeah, it's Baron Asher plus 3 kills. That was such a risky play from Ruddy. You wanted to see it, right? You wanted to see the excitement, the craziness that Ruddy always brings out. Well, there it is, Duckling. There it is. Unfortunately for them, that was not a good play. Oh my goodness. They were in the driving seat for this game, and they were honestly poised to do some even better stuff with how well they were scaling. That was an unnecessary risk, and it blows up in their faces. It might even be this dragon as well after that too. Oh man, Verdun, what a great response to that play, picking up 3 kills and the Baron in their back pocket.
Not sure why they would flip it. Regardless though, what happened, and now we can only look towards the future. Verdun now with a goal lead for one of the first times in this game. Fighting still continues. They look on towards Shihan. He's taking quite so low, but not dead quite yet. Kuturkan evaporates, and it continues to be another good fight where Extra finds the space to cut down the HP boss. He's down to half though, and the fight ends. I believe that's a 2 for 3 in favor of Verdun. That's Alex and Nata, the last remaining members of Ruddy.
Whoa. Is that Dragon though? Do you think Verdun will go for that?
No, I think they leave it.
No, you think they're chilling? They might do. I mean, obviously you have your ADC, and it's like a DPS ADC as well. Like, it's definitely possible. And that's, yeah, I think that's really smart taking that crab as well, right? That crab reveals the entirety of like the vicinity of this river area. So they take that crab real quick and just see that no one's around. So yeah, that is going to be that dragon. 2 dragons apiece right here on that Chemtech soul as well. Very good stuff from Verdun getting back into it, and I did mention it. Ashe was going to be the driver for Verdant, and you can see her DPS is just insane coming through here. As long as she can be protected and not focused down, she can just absolutely string out insane DPS. That is a difficult task though, right? It is difficult to protect Ashe versus the Ruddy team comp, considering you've only really got Nautilus as a peel option.
Yeah, so I think it's very clear Ruddy's priorities needs to change, as you said. X-Drop has to be the one they target down first. I would not really say they should all in someone like Shihan if they get the chance, unless it is an absolute freak up, because they need to save these resources for X-Drop. His positioning in the fights has been good, but you are an Ashe, right? It only takes one mistake, and against this team composition from Ruddy, you are blown up into oblivion. So far, so good for him. He's had a monstrous game here in the past couple of team fights. Has done well to get himself in this position. Now needs to see if he can bring it home as well, as Alex looks for Shihan, but the damage is not quite there. Ooh. Yeah, they walk Turk and he goes golden though, and this could be an opportunity. X-Drop already down to half, but the shot back comes onto Alaric. He can engage. X-Drop is low. Flash barrier already used. Should still fall as Alex finds the shutdown. That's 3 for Ruddy, but they want more here. Phil chasing down Dopamine, who should be able to get away. Harbo looking for the recall as well. The Talia so fast with that stone to ride on all the way out to safety, but Ruddy, they strike back, and you can see how clearly or how easy it is to find X-Drop, and Ashe so immobile now without the flash for the next 5 minutes. Is that Dopamine dead as well? Not quite pulled back, able to get out.
Very close right there. And now it's Verdant's turn to overextend and go a little bit crazy here. This game seems to be full of this interesting decision making and just crazy aggression as well. Right now it is Ruddy who are able to be the benefactors of that one. It feels as though whenever either one of these teams gets an advantage, gets a lead, starts feeling confident, they maybe go a little bit overconfident. Just gotta rein that back just a tiny bit here, because this game is so incredibly close. We're literally neck and neck. Now there's 100 gold in that gold difference at 25 minutes. Yeah, it is neck and neck. It's a ridiculously close game. It could go either way, but one wrong move, one big throw here, easily just loses you this entire game.
Really worth noting that it was Alex who claimed the big shutdown, right? 700 bonus gold. He's getting close to the 3rd item. That spike would be crucial. Getting the extra crit chance as well. The damage will surely start to come through from the Colby when you've reached that point. But until then, I still think the Axe is the strongest for Harbo. He's looking for the 3rd as well. Rabbit and Death Cap, that's gonna be massive. Baron spawning in still a few minutes time, maybe a bit more than a minute, but clearly the team's already prioritizing getting division around the area.
That's it, of course. If you arrive as the objective spawns straight away, then you're already too late. You got to set up, you got to get that vision. You got to deny the eyes from the opposing team. The tough thing is, right, if you're trying to sweep out this area around Nash, like, both these teams, or I guess specifically Ruddy, have a pretty good face checking tool with Rel and with Skarner. Whereas for Verdant, all they have is Nautilus. Right, and Nautilus, if you look at his item build, he's not got any armor really apart from that steel cap, essentially. Like, he's very squishy, basically, versus Corki, versus Jin. So the face check is quite scary, honestly. If you do get control of this area, if you're Ruddy, then you could really have Verdant in a tough position.
Yeah, I think Alex might be looking for the 1v1 here. Wants to get the jump on Shihan. And just look at the damage now the Corki. When the crits come through, you can really start to see it. Now though, they want the pullback. They're the ones to try and jump him, but instantly he gets the kill on Shihan. Now Dopamine could be in a bit of trouble. Flash very nicely played there from the jungler of Verdant to find the shutdown. This is a window that either he wants to capitalize on. It's a 4v4, but Alex, crucial part of this running lineup as Alaric is the target. Extra wants to run him down. No flash to close the gap, but the Baron, as you say, being taken low, but only down to half. Jungler still available. Dopamine could get in Nata. The target. Harbo wants to burst it, but can't quite do so as he goes back and forth. Shuts down as Kalmski, the next target on the list. Dopamine and Extra though dishing out the damage. They will try and carry Ven through the fight. Dopamine can't quite do it as he will get taken down by Nata. Extra, the last member standing here in the 1v3, but he's full HP. He fancies his art. The barrier available. Still no flash. Mana bar low. He wants to stop Ruddy. He succeeds at that, but can't claim the kills.
It was so close right there as well. Verdant almost threw that game away in that fight. Extra able to salvage it though. Really strong with that deeps, and the Ash was untouched for a long time. It took a while, but Bill eventually went down to him. And this was... I wasn't a fan of the Baron call from Ruddy though. I feel like if your Corki is splitting bot side, he is your Nash DPS. Maybe him and Rumble. That's basically it, right? Jin is not a good Nash taker. Obviously, Skarner and Rel aren't going to be doing anything either. So you obviously can't then call to go on a Nash when it's your Corki bot side that's drawing attention. You need that to be like Built or someone like that, right? So that you actually have Baron damage, and they're going to go for it again. They're addicted to this purple worm.
It's not the flip. I mean, Doberman this time will have a harder time getting into the pit without the flash. But another 5v5 sure to break out here. Harpo looking for the flank. Be aware of that if he finds the correct engage. Alex, Nata, both the targets. Harpo find the backline, but he's stopped instantly by Build. Reading the situation so well, but Alex caught out Seismic Shava right into the waiting hands of Extrop, who takes him into the grave. It's 3v3 now. Curtains have been called. Shihan blocks it up for his jungler. The damage though, so good. The double pullback, and the snipe comes through. Godlike goes Nata. And back on the Baron, Ruddy go.
This should be it at this point now. Surely for Ruddy, they'll be able to secure this Baron. What a back and forth fight again. At first I thought it was going to be all Ruddy. When Harbo got caught out by Bill, which was insane by the way, catching him mid-W and pinning him up against the wall. My goodness, Alex finding a way to throw that away as well. I was like, nah, it's Verdant's fight. And of course, as it all turned out in the end, that curtain call, crazy stuff right there. There's so much damage coming through from ADCs right now in the meta. These crit builds just seem to be doing so much deeps, especially with Collector. It's nasty stuff, and Ruddy really in the driver's seat right now. I know it only looks like a 3,000 gold lead, but to be perfectly honest, their 5v5 is so much stronger, and the fact that Baron is now off the map, it means they can't actually muck about and get it all wrong again like they've been doing a few times this game. So they're just roofing up here. Alex is still bot side, which I don't think he needs to be there, to be honest, but he does have TP and he can join these fights.
Extra reached a massive power spike. 4 items, 4.5 now as well actually. The Infinity has finished. The crits now really starting to hurt and will cut through HP bars. But he needs to survive, he needs to stay safe. He's done well at doing that so fast. Another fight breaks out. Komsky yet again. Just the instant target. X-Drop down to half. Forced to flash away. There's a big cooldown blown as Ruddy continue to step towards this Verdant base. They want to break it open on this push. And you can see that's exactly that goal. Oh, no way. Curtain call as well. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, I can. That is disgusting. Get him out. Get him banned. Did you see that? 80% of the HP bar with one auto from Nata.
Yeah.
That's gross. Yeah.
Just not cool, is it? ADCs right now, man. It's something. It is something. This is why Caitlyn gets banned all the way, by the way, because you imagine that.
That's a headshot, unbelievable.
Like, yeah, it's really gross. It's so gross. What do you do against that?
4v5. It seems like Verdant might have to make a stand here. X-Drop, no flash. Same goes for Nata if they find the right window. Harpo, he had the perfect flank before. He saw both the targets that he wanted to assassinate, but Build said no. He will have to do that one more time, you feel, as Verdant have one last go in them. They want to get full build on X-Drop though. I fear if he gets 100% crit, if the Ashe gets the time, can cut through anyone, the same can be said about Nata.
There's a lot of damage in this game at this point. Whenever games are like this and you just know, like, it's just, yeah, you give a target like 2-3 seconds and they're going to get melted down. Whenever you're in that kind of situation, crowd control becomes extremely important. And you have to give that edge over to Ruddy as far as the CC goes.
Should be safe, right? Yola Blank able to jump away, but that's the second jump already used. Alaric could look to close the gap here. Harpo has the flash, will be CC'd up, should be able to get out. Okay, he made it. X-Drop, still no flash. An overextension here from the AD carry could spell doom. And the end of the game. Same goes for Nata though. Flash cleanse already used. X-Drop solo only thanks to the red carpet. Can step up and have an impact on the fight. X-Drop forced to go back into the fountain. Nata though did get caught out, but they win it. All thanks to the 2 summoners spell from the Ruddy AD carry.
X-Drop, honestly, you sit in that red carpet for like a second or two, Just those few ticks, and it's enough to push you out of the fight. And that's enough for Ruddy. You don't have to kill the Ashe. As long as she's not there doing any damage, she may as well be dead. Getting zoned away there by the red carpet is really crazy. Really powerful stuff. You can see his build as well. It's hideous here. As you mentioned, full build though coming through from the Ashe. Got that Bloodthirster. A little bit of life still here will actually go a long way. Getting poked down to like half health or 40%.
They're getting soul too.
I think it's free. Yeah, I don't think Ruddy are going to be able to do anything about this.
The reset timers are off here for them. As that's the third Drake they've given up, either because they fight just before it spawns, or recall at the wrong time, and this time, they want to do something about it. Unable to though, as Verton get out. They still have one fight in them. You can sense it, right? One big misstep, the death timers are becoming so long that if you step or mess up here, your game could be over. Oh, I have a sense this game is still not over yet. There's more to come. It's Alex. 4.5 items as well. Verton yet to make their final stand, but we could be just a minute away as Nata looks to be assassinated, but instead he turns it around on Harpo. That is surely all they need to win it. Nata survived the assassination attempt and now will push towards the Nexus turret. It's all on extra. Look at him. Can he get the orders off? Can he bring them back into the game? The CC is good. Nicely played by the front line, but the pullback from Build spells their demise. It is Ruddy who will move atop the NLC standings with a 3-1 scoreline, defeating Verton. Yet another quarter kill for Alex to top it off. But it is Ruddy who stand atop the league.
It was back and forth all game. The ADCs were actually popping off endlessly. And Nata's Jhin ending the game 11-0-17. My goodness. Yeah. Absolutely disgusting stuff. The damage coming through was insane. Even when the Blanc tried to assassinate him, and to be honest, had a relatively good angle to assassinate him, couldn't do it. You know, it's just like 2 auto attacks, you're dead. It was hideous stuff. And a very scrappy game, very bloodthirsty game. It's just, I'm still a little bit, like, I don't know, squeaky about the whole thing, right? It wasn't clean, I would say, from either team, so it's still a lot to work on.
It wasn't really clean, but it is at this point that I'm very happy that I have both Alex and Nata on my fantasy team in the NLC. Nata's the captain as well, by the way. I've been raking the points this game, regardless though. That's enough for my fantasy team. More on that later though. As we throw it to a break and we come back, it's a usual desk segment. Hopefully Ashram won't fire any more shots at anyone directed in the desk. I assume they've already had a long day. See you after the break.
At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.